Hey, Game Changers, it's Allie and Torrey. We are back here in Omaha and we are so excited. It is Saturday. That is Christmas in the volleyball world because it is NCAA Women's Volleyball National Championship Final. Torrey, are you excited for this matchup?
I'm so excited for this matchup. It's exciting to see the familiarity of Texas. We know what we're going to get out of this team. We've seen them here, as we talked about last time, so many times before, and they are back in the national championship, and they're hungry for an actual national championship. And then, of course, the history-making ACC conference, Louisville. So excited to be able to see that they are in the national championship, and we have a female coach in the national championship, like we talked about last time. It was such a bummer to see USD not make it past Texas. I was definitely rooting for the underdog in that scenario, but I'm still so excited that we have Danny in the final.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was pretty fired up in that first set in the semis where USC pulled it out against Texas and fired up for Jen. But at the same time, as well as I do, USC was in that match because of Texas's errors. And they came back in the second, third, and fourth and just cut their errors. So unfortunately, I don't think that San Diego was able to outpower Texas. But it was so great to see that they made it that far. Jen got AVCA Coach of the Year, which I think is a tremendous honor and just a testament to how much she's been able to do in our space. But my God, thank God that Danny Busboom Kelly is going to be there. I know all the women are going to be cheering her on. And for those of you at home, I don't know if you got to see it's the 50-year anniversary of Title IX, and we've been honoring women and the history of our sport for this entire week. And it's just very, very thrilling. So I know who most women are going to be pulling for tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. And going back to that match on USD and Texas, I agree. In the first set, Texas had something like 6 hitting errors, and we knew that wasn't sustainable for a team like Texas moving forward in this tournament. And then we both watched, USD's passing start to struggle a little bit and their middles get taken out of the game. And that is the name of the game against Texas. In order for Louisville to have an opportunity against Texas tonight, not only do they need to win the serve and pass game in order to involve those middles, but they have to run the middle. Texas is just too big and too overpowering at the net as a block in order to try and hit off that block over and over and over again.
Yeah, so, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Anybody who was sitting near us would hear you like, run your middle, feed your middle. We're screaming it. I do think, though, I'm curious to see the Louisville-Texas matchup. I'm actually very excited for it. I think it's going to be a really powerful match tonight on both sides of the net. Louisville's setters need to have some credit because they reversed the ball so much. And I think that that's what Pitt was struggling with the most is, Louisville's getting passes all the way over at the right side pin, and she is shooting that ball to the outside so fast the Pitt's middles could not compete. I'm curious to see what that's going to look like with Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack and Jilling the ball is what I always talk about with that. But she was going the long way, making people work, pushing that lateral movement for the other side and keeping them on their toes, not setting the short ball, but taking those risks. And risk is definitely another thing that impacts a game like a national championship. The team that comes out with the most willingness to take risks. I loved watching Louisville's 5th set because they started running stuff. I mean, obviously they were up 8-0 in the 5th, but they started running stuff that they hadn't done all tournament. They were running an X and they were having their outsides come and hit a 2 out of the middle. And they were doing fun stuff. That is the kind of stuff, and those are the kind of risks when you're not up 8-0 that they might need to be taking against Texas tonight. And they started doing it in preparation 2 nights ago. So it's been super exciting to watch.
Well, yeah, that's what we all live for, right? It's just that fun and that passion for the game, and you play loose. And I thought that Louisville's outsides were fearless. They were just fearless, and you could just see the excitement out there. I can imagine what it felt like to be on the court. It was so thrilling. I'm sure that most people at home were pretty upset when Louisville didn't close it out in the 4th. But when they came back with a vengeance, how many blocks were in the 5th set? Like 7? It was unbelievable, just that wall at the net. So I hope that Louisville comes out fired up. They're going up against a veteran Texas squad with the player of the year in Eggleston, who also, a phenom in her own right. I mean, I think we're looking at future volleyball royalty out there tonight. So I'm really, really excited to see how these two teams match up.
Absolutely. And, my opinions towards Texas have started to really shift. Yesterday, we were able to be at that AVCA All-American Luncheon, and we got to listen to Asia as well as Player of the Year Eggleston go up there and talk. And they both had such touching anecdote stories of their time at Texas and what it means to be a Longhorn to them, and how they've utilized their platform for social justice, and they've utilized their platform for inspiring the younger generation of Black women, and things that have just been not talked about enough in the history of Texas volleyball, always having such a diverse team. And now it's coming out, and these women are using their platform in not only the way of being the most phenomenal, volleyball players on the market right now in the collegiate world, but at the same time, they're understanding their role in society and their platform with all of the NIL stuff going on. And so it's been really, really inspiring to watch. And I'm excited to see either of these teams take home this national championship. Obviously still rooting for the underdog, obviously still rooting for a female head coach. But I'm not going to be so upset to see somebody like Asia, who has had 2 open heart surgeries, competing for her team and winning a national championship. I think that all of these athletes and all of the people out there tonight are so deserving of what's in store for them. So I'm just excited to see the faces on the people cutting the net at the end of the night.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think that that's missing in quite a few programs where women feel empowered enough to speak up and come forward and talk about real issues in real life. Because let's be honest, volleyball is the sport, and luckily we come together, but these women are truly using their prowess in the sport as a catalyst to bring attention to true real world issues. And I'm very proud of them. And I felt blessed to be in the crowd yesterday listening to those young women speak. And I know that the future is very bright for many of them. But I'm with you. I'm excited to see the end. I hope that it is going to be a 5-set thriller where we're all on the edge of our seats, and it's just a knockdown, drag out battle.
Absolutely. I want to bring up one last small technique thing, because the player and coach in me has been thinking about it, watching every game since I've been here and watching the games leading up to it. I truly think that another big part of it, you have to win the serve and pass game against Texas. You have to run your middles offensively, and defensively, I want off blocker defense. Oh. I want the off blockers to be in there passing and trying to dig those 10-by-10 swings, because as we mentioned, we have history in Logan Eggleston, who's absolutely annihilating the ball either over the block or on that 10-by-10 sideline where that outside should be. Texas runs a high enough offense, in my opinion, for people to get off the net and be playing defense there. And they're not super aggressive with tipping. And so I would love to see for the outsides and right sides off blockers, when they're not blocking, to be off the net and hustling very fast to get back and try to play some defense right there, because no libero can cover that extreme expansion of the court when the middle back has to stay true, because they're hitting over the top of the block. So yeah. I really want to be able to see some off blocker defense tonight. It's such a small niche thing, but I'm such a stickler for it, and I want to see it. I want to see them just absolutely scoop people at that 10-by-10 line. There's nothing more fun than seeing that from an outside.
Yeah, well, and you're right. And that's where Texas absolutely destroyed San Diego. I mean, San Diego did not adjust the block. They did not bring their ops and their setter far enough in on the right to do any kind of defensive damage at the net against Texas. How about Louisville's off-speed game? Because I got to say, out of all the teams out there, they brought it. They brought it. They recognized it. Do you think that's going to be able to be successful against Texas?
I do. I think that you have to be careful with the off-speedness of a ginormous middle coming in for a late close like they have at Texas. So they have to be super, it has to be finesse. It has to be understanding that you're playing someone with a 5-inch, 10-inch higher reach than what you were playing the night prior, and making that adjustment. But I do think there's holes there. As long as Zoe Fleck is all the way on the other side of the court, let's just hope that she doesn't come all the way through and be scooping up all of those off-speed balls. Yeah. Let some of them fall, keep them true. But no, I do think that that's important against a team like Texas for sure. Yeah. Even just to get their setter out of the play, Oh,
sure. Yeah, I'm going to be looking for that. Like I said earlier, Louisville's outsides were just so confident, and they could see the floor so well, intentionally tooling the block, intentionally slicing and dicing, and then bringing the heat when they saw that the block was late. So I'm fired up to see what's going on tonight. I know that you are too. I hope everybody at home is going to be watching, and let's make sure that we get all eyes on women's volleyball tonight in Omaha, finals championship match.
Absolutely. I'll see you there.
Absolutely. Bye, Tor.
Bye.